Morning, everybody. Thanks for let me go to this with you first. Thanks for joining me for our work week forecast as we look at Christmas week. Beginning of the week looks basically quiet and with seasonable temperatures. Not too bad for this time of year. Lows mostly in the low 30s, and highs in the low 30s. For most days, for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, basically, and lows around 20 or in the upper teens, which is really, for this time of year, pretty typical. So nice days. Hopefully you get a chance to get out there and enjoy the snow, and then things get a little different, a little crazy on Thursday and into Christmas Day, particularly overnight Christmas Eve, as we get probably some rain and some wind, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of the details. That's what the forecast is going to mostly focus on this morning. So let's go ahead and look at the satellite view real quick here first. You can see that our storm, very weak storm that gives a little bit of light snow yesterday afternoon is pulling away, and the clouds that are left over this morning should pull away completely by probably midday today, and we'll start to see a few peaks of sun. Tomorrow, we see mostly sunny skies, but this batch of clouds will be kind of racing towards us as well. This batch of clouds, this will be actually here by tonight. This is really racing ahead. There's not really any moisture associated with this little kind of weak trough. And then our next weather system that comes through later in the week, which was back here actually over the Pacific. So let's take a look at that on kind of more of a North American view. You can see that piece of energy is a very strong piece of energy. It'll come through as a strong, probably more like a front. But you may be asking, I would be asking if I was you, why? How can I be so confident it's going to be rain this far out? Last Monday, I wasn't even sure we were going to get any snow on Wednesday into Thursday, and we ended up with some places maybe setting the 24-hour snowfall record, at least recorded record in Vermont, perhaps in Peru or in Ludlow, where we surpassed the 40-inch mark, or maybe up to 44 inches in 24 hours, and really that came in 12 hours. But anyways. How can I be confident that it's going to be rain and not snow on Christmas Eve? It's cold now. Well, so here's a look, just to give you an idea. Here's basically the storm track for what this storm is going to do. So this is tomorrow afternoon, and then it's in the upper Midwest. It's tracking north. This is Wednesday morning, or Wednesday afternoon. It tracks across Lake Superior, and then it heads up towards Hudson Bay on Thursday morning. And so this track could change dramatically because, one of the things I always talk about is, the storm the upper level energy is still out over the Pacific. It's not well sampled. That's true. The exact track, not at all confident that this will be the exact track, but it would have to shift 1,000 miles east to give us any snow out of the storm, to turn this storm to snow. And that is unlikely. The models are very unlikely to actually do that with the storm. So that's why you can be confident about this kind of forecast, at least in terms of the broad details. Now, what we can't be confident of is what's likely as this storm heads up to Hudson Bay in northern Canada, it's going to be draping a strong front along it, and there's going to likely be a low pressure system that or maybe a series of a couple low pressure systems that develop along that low pressure system and race north along the front. Those could throw two wrinkles in our weather. A very unlikely wrinkle is that they develop a strong enough coastal storm that it wraps in and we change from rain to snow. That's possible. We will eventually change to snow as the front comes through Christmas morning. If there's any precipitation left on Christmas morning, it could be changing to a brief period of a burst of snow and then flurries afterwards. But what we need to be more worried about is does that happen because what happens is when that low pressure system develops on the front, it enhances the moisture and enhances the wind, and we could have some issues with rainfall totals and with wind as this storm races across the country to the east. Right now, some of the models do want to pin us for where one of those low pressure ripples would be swinging through, basically overnight, probably late evening on Christmas Eve, and that could mean that we get in a pretty quick amount of time 1 to 2 inches of rain, which wouldn't cause massive dramatic problems, but it would definitely be problematic. It would be really messy because with all the snow, it'll absorb a lot of the water because this is very fluffy snow we've got out there, but it will also, water doesn't have it, the ground is frozen, the water doesn't have as many places to go. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. We'll also have to keep an eye on winds. There's some indications it could be very windy, and so I'm very hopeful that it won't be windy to the point where we have to worry about power outages, but that's not impossible. So we're going to have to keep an eye. That's the kind of detail where that low pressure system sets up that the models can't figure out this far out. The fact that we have this big synoptic low pressure system here over the northern part of the United States, they're pretty good. Like I said, this could move. It probably will move a lot from what the models think right now. It could move 300 miles, and that would still basically our forecast in terms of rain would be the same. So that's a lot of explanation. But here we go. Let's take a quick look at our work week weather. Basically, like I said, first 3 days of the week are nice. Lots of temperatures in the low 30s. Overnight lows, low basically near 20 a lot of the nights. Thursday, we dramatically warm up as the rain starts to come in. Most of the rain will probably hold off until evening on Christmas Eve. But there could be a little bit of rain. There could be some showers earlier in the day. We'll be windy and we'll be in the low 50s. We'll be in the low 50s for most of the night, and then our temperatures are crashing by Christmas morning. So we'll start the morning off with maybe near 40, depending on exactly when the front moves through and exactly what morning means for you. But temperatures will be crashing by Christmas afternoon. We'll be in the mid-20s and continuing the temperatures to go down. We'll be windy on Christmas as well. The wind will go from a very strong southwest wind on Christmas Eve to a very strong westerly wind on Christmas. So that's what we're looking at. My weekend forecast will come out on Thursday morning instead of Friday morning, or instead of doing it on Christmas Day, we're going to do it the day before. We'll do a 3-day weekend forecast for this weekend, and I'll probably have a video up on Wednesday that talks about the storm in more detail for Christmas Eve. I want to say give a quick shout out to my patrons who help support what we do, or what I do here at the West River Weather Guy. They help provide some of the ability for some of the equipment that we have and some of the subscriptions to weather sites and things like that I have. So I appreciate them, and if you have any interest in becoming a patron, you can check out the link in the description to my patron page, which has a video and kind of talks about what being a patron means. All right, until then, we'll see you on probably Wednesday with an update on the storm, and Thursday we'll have the weekend forecast out.